Welcome, everybody. So great to have you here. Lovely to be here once again. It's a Tuesday, and we've got our leadership live.
Welcome, everybody.
And once again, once again, we're talking about how to lead in crisis, how to develop our leadership, and today's topic is leadership habits. Now, this topic is a topic that's really, really close to my heart, and I want to just see who's here. We've got Joey. Hello, Joey. We've got Liska as usual. Hi, Liska. Great that you're here. And let's see who else joins. So please do let me know when you're here. Just give me a like. Just press like on the Facebook Live, or say hello and tell us where you're from. So here we've got Anne-Marie. Well, welcome. Great to have you here. And from Canada, awesome. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're coming from. And I'm really excited to start today. So before I begin, I actually have a question for you that I'd love for you to type in the comments. To choose a number between 1 and 52. And there's going to be a good reason for this. So I'm going to keep you a little bit in suspense. Just type in the comments a number from 1 to 52. And I hope it will be worth it. I don't want to promise, but I think it will be. And you'll get a surprise at the end of this live. So please do. I'm waiting to see your numbers coming through. And just type in your number from 1 to 52, and I'll come back to that a bit later. And today we are talking about habits. As I said, habits is a subject that's very close to my heart because I believe that habits are really, really important in terms of developing the kind of leader that you want to be, developing achievements that you want to achieve. Anything that you want to do is really based on habits. So let's start off by saying, what is a habit? And thank you, Anne-Marie. I see your number, 48. Excellent. Everyone else, if you're joining now, just tell us, what is your number between 1 and 52? Choose a number, type it into the comments, and you'll find out why soon enough. So let's go back to our topic of habits. What is a habit? A habit is something that we do on a regular, consistent basis. It can be a thought, an action. It's really anything that we repeat regularly so that eventually our brain automates it. It becomes automated for us. We don't even have to think about it. We just do it. So if we look at typical things that we do in our day-to-day life, even as basic as brushing our teeth in the morning, in the evening, that's a regular habit because we know we do it. Our day does not, we don't have to think about it. You could even look at something like driving as a habit, because when you're driving, you can be thinking of many other things. You can be talking to someone in the car. You can be planning your day or going over something you want to say in a meeting, and you're not really conscious of the driving aspect. And that's also something that has become a habit. It's become habitual for us. So let us know some examples that you're thinking of in terms of habits. What are habits that you know you have? Write those in the comments. I'd love to see. And those are our daily actions. Now, why do we create habits around daily actions? And I've given you examples of automated habits that are just so part of our routine. We don't think twice about them. And there's a good reason for this. The reason for this is that our brain wants to take anything that we do on a regular basis, anything that we've repeated a few times, our brain wants to just turn into a habit because it saves energy. It becomes automated, so you don't have to think too much. You don't have to use too much of your brain power. So it keeps things simple, easy, and saves a lot of energy for us. And what that means is that it frees up our brain to take in other information, to take in new data, to develop new habits, to think about new things that we want to do. So our brain is wired to automate everything, to turn everything that we do, anything that we repeat a couple of times is already on its way to become a habit, to become automated. Now, obviously, the more we repeat stuff, the more automated it becomes and the more habitual it becomes. And the key with this particular piece of information is that our brain is not picky about what it chooses to turn into a habit. Our brain doesn't choose, okay, this is a good thing to automate and this is a bad thing to automate. Anything that you repeat will be automated and turned into a habit. So what does this mean? This means that both the things that we do that both serve us or don't serve us or are bad for us, the good habits and the bad habits, anything that we repeat gets automated. Our brain doesn't choose. Our brain doesn't decide, okay, which habits should we keep, which habits should we not. It just automates it. As long as you've repeated something, it automates it. So great things like exercising, eating healthily, reading before we go to bed, brushing teeth, journaling, anything that really serves us and helps us to live a better life, to achieve our goals, are things that as soon as we start repeating them, our brain is going to work very hard to automate it. So I see we've got some new people on the call or on the live. Please give us a like so we know you're here. And remember to just comment in the comments, write down a number between 1 and 52. Okay, and there's a surprise waiting. So if there's someone who's listening, watching us at the moment who hasn't written their number, please do that from 1 to 52. In fact, maybe Liska, if you can write a comment to put in a number between 1 and 52 so that people who join can do that along the way. All right, so we were talking about habits and automation and what happens in our brain. So since our brain does not choose for us what to make a habit out of, what to create or automate for us to help us live a better life, help us achieve our goals, help us to behave in a certain way or to be better as human beings, it just automates everything. So it's up to us to decide which habits we actually want automated, which habits do we want to repeat and help our brain to automate so that we can be, do, and have the stuff that we want. We can be effective, impactful, wonderful human beings. We can do the things that we want to do that help us to move forward and achieve the things in life that we want to achieve. And we can have all the good things that we want in our life. That if we can base those on habits that will help us to get those, let's choose the habits that are going to serve us. Let's say if there's a habit that we do, for example, that is not going to serve us, for example, leaving things to the last minute. That is a habit that we get into by repeating it every so often. Then, and please no half numbers. Thank you, Liel. I need only whole numbers. I did not mention that, so my bad. But please, only whole numbers. Thanks very much. Okay, so if we have a habit that does not serve us, like leaving things to the last minute, our brain's going to automate that habit. It's not going to decide, okay, this is a habit we don't want, let's not automate it. It just automates things that we repeat. So getting into a habit of procrastination or getting into a habit of leaving things for the last minute, getting into a habit of picking our nose, those are all habits that our brain will automate because there is no judgment there. So the question is, which habits do we want to choose to automate? Which habits are going to be the ones that serve us in order to achieve what we want? And I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to create those kind of habits. Before I do that, I do want to go into, we had a question that I posted on social media yesterday, and I received some answers that I'd love to share with you. The question was, what are 3 things that you're enjoying in this lockdown period? And thank you, Liska. I see there's a message. Yes, please post your number from 1 to 52 in the comments. Here we go. I'm putting up the instruction. Thank you, Liska. You don't want to miss the surprise. I agree with that. So please do post your number from 1 to 52 and you will get a surprise at the end of our live. Talking about our social media mini survey around what are things that people enjoyed in lockdown. We had a lot of answers. It was wonderful to see the participation and the interaction. And here are some, there were a lot of themes, a lot of answers that people shared that were very similar among the people that were engaging and answering the post. So this was really interesting for me. So I did a quick analysis of the results and I wanted to share with you what came up. What did people enjoy over this lockdown period? And there were six main things, okay? The first one was around quality connection. So whether it was with family or other people, there was something about a depth of connection in this time that really appealed to people and people really liked. And I think the time that we had and the ability to all of a sudden connect virtually, grandparents learning how to use Zoom was absolutely awesome because people started to connect more, maybe with people that they hadn't seen in a long time. For me, it was really about family connection time. I've got older kids who pre-corona days were so busy, we hardly found time to really connect. And all of a sudden, dinner became a long event where we would eat, because everybody was at home, nobody could go anywhere. We would eat together, we would hang around and talk afterwards, play board games. That kind of connection time was really special for us, and that's something that came out a lot through this question that I asked. The second thing was around peace and calm. Something about just the lowered pressure, the less rushing around, needing to do so many things. There was a huge amount of just less time in the car, which also just generates a sense of calm. And I think linked to this was an element of slowing down, less traffic, less rush in the mornings to get to work and get the kids ready and prepare to go out. More silence in our day. So a sense of slowing down, like slowing down of the pace. So even for people who were busy at home during the lockdown period, there was an element of just a calming and a slowing of the pace, which people were really appreciating in lockdown, for me as well. The third one was around mind and body. And a lot of people wrote about yoga, Tai Chi, meditation, things that really help to create that mind-body connection and really build on that. So that was something really wonderful to read about, that we were paying attention and giving time to our mind-body connection and what we needed there. So that was really awesome to see. And then the fourth one was around joyful activities, or back burner activities, what I call, because back burner activities are those things that bring us joy, things we want to do, but somehow didn't find the time for before. And people were finding that they were doing this kind of thing. So whether it was cooking exotic dishes, or learning something new, taking courses, or playing music, dancing, whatever it is, those kind of joyful activities that were back burner projects just took center stage. And then the sixth thing that came that was put across in our mini survey was around less pressure and independence from a work point of view. So having that independence was something that people really appreciated and enjoyed about the lockdown period, that they didn't have to go into work, they didn't have to feel that level of structure. There was more independence in terms of working from home. So those were the things. And the reason that I'm bringing this into my habits talk is to really ask you, if these are things you enjoyed, if you can connect to some of these things that I shared today about what we enjoyed about the lockdown period, how do we take some of those things and create a habit out of them? So I'm going to pause here for a moment and welcome some people who've come on the call. Clayton, happy birthday for yesterday. Great to see you here. If you're on the call, please give us a like. If you give me a like, I can see that you're here. Niyama, welcome. Ingrid, awesome to have you here. I have asked that you just put a number in the comments from 1 to 52, and I will share at the end what that's about. So please put in your number in the comments, anything from 1 to 52, no half numbers, please, just whole numbers, and I'll get back to that a bit later on. So what I found in this time is that we have been given a boost for habits that we want to create in our life, because having this crisis period, having this pandemic has allowed us to take a step back, reflect a little bit, and enjoy some things that weren't so obvious to us pre-corona that we could make the time for. And here we've had an opportunity to make the time and do wonderful, wonderful things. So which of these things do we want to keep and turn into a habit? And that's a question for you. So if anybody wants to share, which of those things that you enjoyed during the lockdown period, or shutdown, or quarantine, or whatever it is called wherever you're at, which of those do you want to keep? Which do you want to turn into a habit? And I'm going to share with you 4 steps to how do you make something a habit. Because in order to make something a habit, we've got to do 4 things. We've got to make it simple. So for example, if you want to get into a habit, I want to get into the habit of doing push-ups. I'm just really, really not good at that. Okay, so it's something that I want to build. But I can't decide I want to get to 100 push-ups at the first go. That could be a wonderful goal to get to one day. But if I want to turn this into a habit, I've got to start small. I can't do 1 at this stage. So maybe let me start with 5 or 10. I've started with 10. I try to do 10 every day. I haven't been so good at it, but I really try to do 10 every day to build up my arm muscle so that one day I can get to 100. So keep it simple and start small. The second thing is to link it to an activity that you're already doing. So for me, if I get out of bed, do my push-ups, and then go to the bathroom and do what I need to do, that just works. Because if I leave it for any other time later on in the day, I just tend to not do it. I tend to forget, get caught up in everything else that's going on. So I leave it. Link it to something that you're doing, whether it's brushing your teeth, having your first cup of coffee, whatever it is, link it to that and do it straight away so that it can get done. And then the fourth step is to track it. So almost like crossing off on a calendar, just make a cross or a V or a check mark for every day that you've done it. And if you can track it in the simplest possible way, that also gives you encouragement to continue. And the fourth thing is reward yourself. When you've got your milestone, even the small milestone, not the end goal. So when I've been able to do 10 push-ups for 7 days, for me, that's a great milestone. I'll give myself a celebration, whatever it is, ice cream or whatever it is that I enjoy. Take time out, just enjoy the fact that my habit is coming into place. So 4 steps are: make it simple, link it to something you're already doing, track it, and then reward yourself with something on the little milestones. So that's about habits. And I'm going to now introduce to you why this subject is so close to my heart. And that is because one of the projects that I've been working on over this pandemic period has been to write my second book. And I'm really excited about it. And this book really is about habits. What it is, it's called The Extraordinary Leader. I haven't launched it yet. It's coming. I will let you know about that. But it is about weekly habits. Every week, there's a habit for that week that will help us to become better leaders. Now, I know and I believe that we're all leaders, and we all know that we're leaders in various areas of our life. And as leaders, we always want to get better. Leadership is about learning. It's about improving. It's about getting even better at leading whatever area it is of your life that you lead. So how do we do this? We do this through habits. If we can generate quick, simple, weekly habits that will make us even better at what we do, then we'll, after a year, have accumulated an amazing amount of habits and achievements that we've done that we can really be proud of. And that's what my book is about. It's about taking on a habit every single week, something simple and small that can help you to become even better as a leader. And this is where my surprise is for you today. What I've decided to do is, for the people who've shared, and thank you, I see these numbers coming through. So anyone who hasn't yet put in their number from 1 to 52, please do put in your number. I'm just going to choose one at random, whichever one that I see at the moment in front of me. I'm going to scroll on the comments, and then I'm going to just share what that habit was, or from my book, which habit it is, because it will be, okay, I see Taryn Weiner, 22. So that will be week 22 from our book. I'm going to open it up. And for the rest of you, I will put it into the comments. What is the habit that you got based on the number that you chose? So do continue to put in your numbers, and I will share those with you. So Ingrid, thank you for your sharing. I see something about the new Mastermind peer group, which came out. Was an amazing meeting today. I'm one of those 3 ladies. Thank you, Ingrid. Love our Mastermind. And I'm now going to share, Taryn, you're the winner of our Habits Leadership Live. And I'm going to share what week 22 says. So just give me a minute, and I'm going to open this up quickly. Week 22. I love week 22. Week 22 is called The Main Thing. Okay. What does this mean? It starts with a quote from Brendan Burchard, which says, always remember that the main thing is to make the main thing the main thing. So this is a really, really nice quote that I happen to love. And what this means is actually, and I write about this in my book in that chapter, is that we, first of all, to me, it comes in 2 parts. The first part is to really understand what is your main thing. And the second part is to make time for it, because if you know what your main thing is, you've got to make it the main thing in order to see traction and to see forward movement. So I'll leave you with this question. Thank you to Taryn. What is your main thing? What is the one thing that you really want to focus on in order to be, do, or have something in your life? And then take that main thing and make time for it. Make it your main thing. Define a habit that will help you Really make your main thing the main focus of your life so that you can see the results and the traction that you want. And I will leave you with that message for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or ideas for topics for the next time, please feel free to write it in the comments or to direct message me always. Please do sign up to my new YouTube channel. I always upload these leadership lives to my YouTube channel. So just look up Daphne Horowitz under YouTube. And please do write in the comments one insight that you got out of today. What is the one thing that you're taking away from today's conversation, from today's Leadership Live? And I hope to see you next week. See you next week, Tuesday, back at Leadership Live Tuesday, same time, same place. And I look forward to welcoming you all here. Write your insight. I'd love to hear, what did you take away from this conversation? Even just in one word. What are you left with? What is the gem for you? And see you next week. Thank you very much and all the best to you. Bye-bye.